Okay. There's a reason for that sea sound I opened with. It wasn't the real sea, ocean or river. But there's a reason I've opened with that. This is a very important subject for me, and therefore hopefully important podcast for you. And I'm sure it won't be my only one on this subject matter. I've touched on it briefly before, but today, the 9th of January 2017, is an important day for a certain incident that happened in Korea. Excuse me, I'm a bit nasally for a change, but this marks today on this particular you could say anniversary. It's been 1,000 days since the ship called Sewol, or Sewol Ho, if you say it in Korean, that's normally how it's pronounced, Sewol Ho, or sometimes MV Sewol, which is MV for motor vessel. I'm sorry. Otherwise, it's just a car. But no, it was a ship that in April 16th, 2014, for various reasons, but probably one over. It's difficult to say. Some people say it's one overriding factor. Some people say it's various factors. For whatever reason, the ship sank. I'll go into more detail in a few seconds. I was actually thinking yesterday, there was a program on TV which I was in two minds whether to watch, but it was regarding Korean education, Welsh education, kind of a sort of a school swap program, or at least a program in a TV sense, as opposed to an exchange program. But it did kind of dawn on me that I was attending this film today, the 9th of January. There's a film I went to see regarding Sewol. And I mean, first of all, it dawned on me that there was a program that related to Korean education the day before this Sewol 1,000 days anniversary. But I mean, I might touch on that particular program another time. It had nothing to do with this incident, but I just wanted to sort of link the two aspects together, or the two education aspects. So I wanted this podcast really to be a sort of an outline of the incident itself, how it's kind of, I guess, how it's played a part in my life. And this isn't coming from a political angle as such. I mean, this new podcast, or new name I've given my podcast, which is Flicks, Flicks, each letter standing for a particular word. Nowhere in there is politics, but that doesn't mean to say that, you know, there isn't. Of course, there's politics in life. There's politics in Korea. There's politics everywhere. But so the reason I wanted to do this was seeing this film today. It was a film. Actually, this particular film was called Sewol. I've seen about 3 films, maybe one more. I can't actually recall right now, but that although they all come from a different angle, they're all very good films. But they all, as I say, they relate to this particular ferry incident almost 3 years ago. So really, what I wanted to, the reason I wanted to try and put this out today on the 9th of January, it's the 9th of January. There's a connection with the number 9, which I will mention in a second. Basically, of course, the number 9 is today's date. It's number 9. There was also, actually, in this particular screening I went to today, there was actually, I think there was 9 people there. Now, that's not many people. This was I think it was a great turnout, considering the subject matter, considering the fact that the tubes are on strike. Now, this causes massive problems in London. The metro system, the underground, whatever you want to call it, the tube, as we call it, was completely... Well, there was a strike, which good for them. You know, they're striking for whatever reasons they're striking for, money and what have you. But yeah, of course, it causes disruption. So there's not going to be that many people that can actually make this event. What with the weather being absolutely, well, not fantastic, quite a bit of rain for a start. And yeah, as I say, and it's held in university. It's held in it's a university that's in London, which I'll put details of this. Where I upload this to, where you'll be listening to this from, I hope, is, well, obviously you will be if you're listening to this. I will try and put some information about the event itself that's been and gone, but just so you know where it was. I might even actually put this as episode 9, but anyway, without getting too much into the connection of numbers as I do, I mean, which I'm just going to go straight on with information about this. So, yeah, as I say, this is the third film I've seen. Each film, there's a film called Diving Bell. It's got a longer title than that, I believe. Cruel State. And this one, Sewol. There's also others in production. There's others being made, or have been made, sorry. And each coming from different angles. But it's interesting. I mean, even one of these films caused a massive issue at Busan International Film Festival a couple of years ago. A year and a half ago, I guess, where it was kind of hated to by many people. Again, this probably came partly from the government, but there was so many reasons behind why they didn't want the film to be screened. They didn't want people to know what caused this particular incident. Now, I'm sorry if I'm coming at this from different angles, but I just wanted to put some figures to you regarding the incident itself, without going into, as I say, too much detail or taking sides on any particular part of the incident itself. So we had, I mean, first of all, as I say, it has been 1,000 days today since it happened. The actual incident, it was a ferry travelling from Incheon, which is kind of, well, it is. It's you could say it's where the airport is in Seoul, but obviously Incheon is quite a big area. But the port, this particular ferry went from there, and it was headed towards Jeju-do, the island. Unfortunately, it didn't make there. It capsized, or it started to tilt. It hit something, or no one actually really knows the full story. There's so many different stories out there, but there was 476 people on board. That including, and this is probably the most heartbreaking bit for so many people. It contained mostly these people that were travelling were mostly school students. You could say high school children, and they were travelling on a trip. Like we all know these day trips or week trips, going to another island or going to another town, whatever. That's what they were doing. Unfortunately, due to various reasons, which I'll come to in a bit, basically there was only 172 survived this out of 476. Approximately this is, I think this is actual evident, but 295, as I say, mostly children, died. There's still 9, there's the number 9, see, still missing somewhere out there. And the other sort of number that people are linking to these list of numbers is the 0. There's still no answers. 0 answers from, I guess, the government, the media, the chaebols or the big companies in Korea. No one's actually given answers. The Coast Guard, so many people to blame in different reasons at different levels. And this is why it's caused such a big problem and such heartbreak in South Korea. So that's what I wanted to cover. First of all, sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit here. It is late, by the way. I've come back from the screening itself. I mean, the way I look at this is, as I say, there's There's over 300 people that died now. I remember at primary school when I went to a very small primary school. Of course, that was different to a high school, but I'm just putting this into terms of, let's just say, children, young people. It was literally a primary school of roughly 100 people, 100 children, not people. They're obviously people, but and you know, when you think of that, that's the mostly, let's say, mostly children died here on this ferry, and that's 3 primary schools worth of children from the way I look at it. It's just terrible, and you know, that's why actually I didn't actually mention, but that water that you heard at the beginning of the episode, I'm sorry if it didn't sound too clear, but it's actually from a video poem I did. Basically, it's words on a screen with that in the background, and I put that together sort of a couple of years ago, and I actually uploaded it on the first anniversary of this terrible incident. So, you know, this, as I say, this particular instance has affected me as well, and you know, there's monthly protests in London for this particular cause. And as I said before, people are angry. The children, the students, whatever, they were told to stay put. They were told to basically stay in their positions. Someone will be there. The media was broadcasting saying that no, everybody's being saved. Everybody has been saved already. Don't worry. It came to light later that wasn't the case. You know, these people weren't saved. Less than half were saved. So yeah, it was lies from every angle. And you know, in this particular film, I mean, this has happened in another one. When you see the heartache from parents, who some of them told one thing, then found out something else, and they've lost their loved one forever. I mean, I wept in this screening today. It was pretty harsh. I mean, not harrowing, not sort of in your face harrowing, just honest, but so sad. And of course, these films, they display text messages, or they show video footage of the children as they're on their last, you know, their last hours, sort of floating in sea or in a air pocket or whatever. But yeah, I know my podcasts are about life, but this is about life lost. It's something very personal to me. The amount of, and that's part of the reason why in Korea at the moment there's all this anger at the president and they want her out. There's so much protesting going on, and also in this film there was the protesting scenes are, you know, I mean, pretty harsh. Tear gas, liquid tear gas, water cannons, and so many other things. It's just, I mean, it happens in different other countries as well, but this is pretty bad. Anyway, I'm going to have to sort of wrap this up. I don't want to talk too much about it. I'll probably do a sort of second episode. But if you, you know, there is a protest this Saturday in Trafalgar Square in London, as there is every month. But this is, it's 14th, Saturday the 14th. If you want, you can look up, you can find me on Facebook, or you can find me on YouTube, get in touch if you want more details. My name's, as you probably know, it's Jason Verney, as it says on the podcast information that you're listening to or looking at. And I think I'm going to wrap that up. So thank you for listening. I'm sure I'll elaborate on this particular podcast, especially parts that I missed, I really wanted to talk about. And I'll leave it at that. And I will say au revoir. Good night.